It's time to take command with former NFL tight end Logan Paulsen and former Commanders beat reporter Craig Hoffman.
Take Command podcast from Odyssey Sports. I'm Craig Hoffman. He is Logan Paulsen. All right, let's wrap up with let's start with the tight end position. Obviously, the biggest bummer of the day. Ron Rivera announces that Armani Rogers had an Achilles injury. Ian Rappaport later reporting that it was indeed a full tear of the Achilles, so he is not going to be able to play this season. He is someone who I had extremely high hopes for. Such an incredible athlete. Thought he could develop into a starter. Thought he would win the job just because of his skill, and that he could potentially turn into not just a starter for this team on a room full of what's the word I want to use here? Well, I mean, Logan Thomas is kind of proven, but other than that, unproven tight ends, like he would just be the best of the bunch. I think with his skill set, he could have been a really, really excellent football player in this scheme, knowing what Bieniemy's done with tight ends in the past. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So what does that leave for the tight end room now? And obviously, you've already talked about how Bieniemy is using some of these guys, and so I don't know if that favors. It's more day 2 of OTAs, but if that favors any particular skill set and how that matches with the guys in the room.
Well, right now, I think they're going to have to bring in another body just for camp. The way these guys are running right now, it's a lot of reps. So they're going to need to get somebody in here just to kind of help legs, I think, a little bit. But I think these are the 4 guys that are going to be on the roster. Like, Curtis, they haven't blocked anybody yet. They haven't had pads on yet. But, and I think Curtis, if I'm being hypercritical of him, I think there's times where you say, man, is he playing as hard as he can? But when he runs, he as your 4th tight end, hell yeah, like that's perfect. Cole Turner is kind of picked up where he left off last, training camp, like where he just looked like the most dominant route running tight end on the roster. Just his ability to kind of be sudden and catch contested passes, and like he's going to be a weapon. And I think Armani and him were going to kind of be competing for that. I forget the guy's name, but in Kansas City, their 3rd tight end was a converted wide receiver who was 6'6", 230 pounds.
What was it? Fortson, Jody Fortson.
Yeah, Fortson. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so they'd put him out on slants and have him run fades, and I think that role now is definitively Cole's. And I think Curtis can push for that, but it's probably more of a Y. So he's going to back up Bates, and they use a blocking Y a ton in this offense. I think Logan Thomas is going to be your Travis Kelce light, at least as of right now. And obviously that can change, but I think Logan's looked good. He's moving well. I think he's still kind of figuring the offense out, and I think EB's kind of figuring out how to best to utilize him. Because to me, Logan is a tremendous athlete, but he excels in kind of that basketball player role, like attacking the seam, the deep cross, short area quickness stuff. He's fine at it, but I wouldn't say that's like his superpower necessarily. So I think that they'll figure that out a little bit and kind of get him in some more roles where he can run a slant or, do something and just see how it looks. But I think that's your group, and I think you feel pretty good about it, quite honestly. And I'm super bummed for Armani. I'm super bummed for him because, that injury is terrible. And, it's just a long rehab. And for a guy like him, he was going to be that guy. Like, he has those receiver traits. They were going to use him. He played really well last year in his minutes. So super bummed for him. Wish him a speedy recovery. And but I do think the 4 guys remaining are pretty good football players, and they give you good opportunity. And I said this last year, and this was with Armani in the mix, but I do think that these 4 guys, like when you see them on the field, they look like a bunch of freaks. They're all 6'6" plus. They all run pretty good. Like even Bates, has been lined up wide a couple times, running like digs and stuff. And like because of his big body, he can catch a ball in a corner. So they're going to find ways to maximize these guys and put them in a good position to be successful. So while it's a bummer, Armani got hurt, I think they've got a lot of potential here at the position.
Yeah, Eli Wolf was with them in camp last year. He's available, but
he was in the XFL too.
Yeah, on the top of the available list, you do have a couple of vets that have done some things in this league. Cameron Brate is available. Jeff Swaim is available. Mercedes Lewis, who's 39 years old. Lewis
That's crazy.
Is he your class, older than you? He's older.
He's older than me. I was a freshman when he was a senior at UCLA.
Damn.
So he's 4 years older than me.
Technically, he's still available and out there. Ryan Griffin has had a couple of good years in the league. Kyle Rudolph is available. So there are some veterans out there. Jesse James. So I'm curious if they bring someone in, but I tend to think that you're right, that they're just going to roll with these young guys in Logan, and anybody that was pushing for Logan Thomas to get released weeks ago, it's like, this is why you don't.
Right.
You just, if you needed the space to sign someone, fine, but you didn't necessarily need it, and so you hang on to your guys because guys get hurt, and them's the breaks.
And to defend Logan a little bit, like, he had some opportunities last year where, like, the quarterback didn't see him, or
Sure.
the ball's overthrown, or he's not getting schemed up to get touches. And I know that was a big point of frustration with him in that offense, was that the tight end wasn't really a feature. And
yeah, he certainly made that known by the end of last year.
This is going to be a very different experience for him and that whole group. So, and it'll be interesting to see how Bates kind of adjusts to the new group, because they're doing a lot of route running, and that's not really his forte. But, like, what are these roles going to be? And like I said, I think they've got some good athletes there, guys that catch the ball well, and guys that, because of their size, can be pretty big mismatches. So,
how many people asked you if you were ready to come out of retirement?
EB jokingly asked me for rookie minicamp if I could come out for a couple days. I said I could probably do 15 reps. Is what I said.
I feel like that would have been fun.
That would have been fun. That would have been great. Great little content there for us.
I was gonna say, like, as a content piece, like, come on, Julie, what are you doing over there, running your department? Get Logan. Get Logan mic'd up. Get him in some pads. Figure out the liability.
Yes.
And then have the NFLPA shoot it down and say that's not allowed. So, thanks for watching this clip of Take Command. First, why don't you like it? It lets other people know that it was good, and then they should watch it too. And Logan, we have a new exclusive home for full episodes.
We do. 1067 The Fans YouTube page. Go check it out and please subscribe.
Yeah, do what Logan said.
Do it.
Very, very smart.